In the heart of America, where the rolling hills of Tennessee meet the whispers of the past, there exists a tale so sinister, so unrelenting, that it has captivated the imagination of the nation for centuries. It is a story of horror, of mystery, of unexplained events that have left a trail of terror in its wake. This is the true story of the Bell Witch, a haunting that has become an integral part of American folklore, a testament to the darker side of human experience. As we delve into the depths of this haunting, we find ourselves entwined in a web of secrets, lies, and unexplained phenomena that will leave you questioning the very fabric of reality. To understand the significance of the Bell Witch, we must first set the historical context of the time. The late 18th century was an era of great upheaval and change in America. The Revolutionary War had just come to an end, and the young nation was struggling to find its footing. The frontier was expanding, and with it, the hopes and dreams of countless settlers who sought to carve out a new life for themselves in the untamed wilderness. It was amidst this backdrop of uncertainty and possibility that the Bell family, consisting of John and Lucy Bell, and their 6 children, decided to stake their claim on a farm in Adams, Tennessee. The year was 1817, and the Bells had just moved from North Carolina, seeking a fresh start and a chance to build a better life for themselves. The farm, which consisted of over 400 acres of fertile land, seemed like the perfect opportunity for the family to establish a thriving agricultural business. However, little did they know that their dream of a peaceful life was about to turn into a nightmare. It started with small, seemingly insignificant events. Doors would slam shut on their own, and the sound of faint whispers could be heard in the dead of night. At first, the family dismissed these occurrences as the result of a lively imagination or the creaks and groans of an old house. But as time went on, the events grew more frequent and more intense. It wasn't long before the family realized that they were not alone on the farm. A malevolent spirit, which would come to be known as the Bell Witch, had taken up residence, and it was determined to make its presence known. The entity, which was said to be the spirit of a woman named Kate Batts, was believed to have been wronged by John Bell in a business deal gone sour. According to legend, Kate had been a neighbor of the Bells, and John had swindled her out of a significant amount of money. The story goes that Kate, fueled by anger and a desire for revenge, placed a curse on the Bell family, condemning them to a life of torment and suffering. As the haunting intensified, the Bell family found themselves at the mercy of the Bell Witch. The entity would often physically attack the family, pulling their hair, slapping them, and even shooting at them with a gun. The attacks were not limited to the family alone. Visitors to the farm also reported being subjected to the wrath of the Bell Witch. The entity's behavior was erratic and unpredictable, and it seemed to take great pleasure in causing chaos and destruction. It would laugh, whisper, and even sing, its voice a haunting melody that sent chills down the spines of all who heard it. Despite the terror that the Bell Witch inspired, the family was determined to find a way to stop the haunting. They tried everything from holding seances to seeking the help of local spiritual leaders, but nothing seemed to work. The entity was too powerful, too malevolent, and it seemed to have a mind of its own. As the years went by, the legend of the Bell Witch grew, and people from all over the country came to visit the farm, hoping to catch a glimpse of the entity. The Bell family, however, was not interested in the attention. They just wanted to be left alone, to live their lives in peace. But the Bell Witch had other plans. The entity's antics became more and more brazen, and it began to attract the attention of some of the most prominent figures of the time. Andrew Jackson, the future President of the United States, was a frequent visitor to the farm, and he was said to have been a witness to some of the most intense and disturbing events. Jackson, who was known for his skepticism, was initially dismissive of the haunting, but after experiencing the Bell Witch's wrath firsthand, he became a believer. He even went so far as to offer to help the family rid themselves of the entity, but his efforts were ultimately unsuccessful. As the haunting continued, the Bell family began to fall apart. The constant stress and fear took a toll on their mental and physical health, and they started to turn on each other. John Bell, who had always been the rock of the family, began to show signs of weakness, and his relationship with his wife and children started to fray. The family was on the brink of collapse, and it seemed as though the Bell Witch was determined to push them over the edge. And then, just when it seemed like things couldn't get any worse, the entity's behavior took a darker turn. The Bell Witch began to focus its attention on one member of the family in particular, John Bell's daughter, Betsy. The entity would often target Betsy, subjecting her to physical and emotional abuse, and it seemed to take great pleasure in watching her suffer. The family was at a loss for what to do, and they didn't know how to protect Betsy from the Bell Witch's wrath. As the years went by, the haunting continued, and the Bell family was never able to find peace. The entity remained, a constant presence in their lives, a reminder of the horror that they had endured. But the story of the Bell Witch doesn't end there. In fact, it's only just beginning. As we delve deeper into the mystery, we'll discover that there's more to the haunting than meets the eye. We'll explore the various theories and explanations that have been put forth over the years, from the idea that the Bell Witch was a malevolent spirit to the suggestion that it was a hoax perpetrated by the Bell family themselves. We'll talk to experts and eyewitnesses, and we'll examine the evidence, both old and new, to try to get to the bottom of this enduring mystery. And as we do, we'll begin to uncover a web of secrets and lies that will challenge everything we thought we knew about the Bell Witch. As we continue our journey into the heart of the Bell Witch haunting, we'll find ourselves drawn into a world of darkness and deception, where the lines between reality and myth are blurred, and the truth is hidden behind a veil of fear and uncertainty. We'll encounter strange and terrifying events, and we'll be forced to confront the possibility that the Bell Witch may be more than just a simple haunting. It may be a doorway to a darker realm, a realm that exists just beyond the edge of our everyday reality. And as we approach this doorway, we'll begin to realize that the true horror of the Bell Witch may not be the entity itself, but the secrets that it has uncovered, secrets that have the power to destroy not just the Bell family, but the very fabric of our society. As we stand at the threshold of this journey, we are left with a haunting question: what really happened on that farm in Tennessee all those years ago? Was it a genuine haunting, or was it something more sinister? The answer, much like the Bell Witch itself, remains elusive, but one thing is certain: the truth is out there, waiting to be uncovered. And as we prepare to take the next step into the unknown, we can't help but wonder, will we be able to handle what we might find? The Bell Witch, it seems, is not just a relic of the past, it's a warning that the horrors that we thought were long buried may still be lurking, waiting to strike. And as we delve deeper into the heart of this haunting, we may just discover that the true horror is not the Bell Witch itself, but the darkness that it has unleashed, a darkness that threatens to consume us all. As we left off in our previous installment, the Bell Witch haunting had reached a fever pitch, with the spirit's antics becoming increasingly malevolent and the family's lives hanging in the balance. The year was 1820, and the Bell family, along with their neighbors and friends, were at a loss for what to do. The spirit, which had by now been dubbed the Bell Witch, seemed to be growing stronger by the day, and its presence was taking a devastating toll on the family's physical and mental health. Despite the chaos that surrounded them, the Bell family remained determined to uncover the truth behind the haunting. They had already tried various methods to rid themselves of the spirit, from prayers and hymns to more drastic measures like physical confrontations, but to no avail. The spirit seemed to be always one step ahead, adapting to their attempts to thwart it and striking back with renewed ferocity. It was during this period of intense turmoil that a man named Andrew Jackson, who would later become the 7th President of the United States, became involved in the case. Jackson, who was a friend of the Bell family and a prominent figure in Tennessee society, was intrigued by the strange occurrences and decided to pay a visit to the Bell farm. What he witnessed during his stay would leave an indelible mark on his life and provide a unique perspective on the haunting. According to eyewitness accounts, Jackson was subjected to the same kind of physical and verbal abuse that the Bell family had been enduring for months. The spirit, which seemed to take great delight in tormenting the future president, pulled his hair, slapped him, and even threw a pillow at him. Jackson, who was known for his toughness and courage, was shaken by the experience and later told friends and family that he had never encountered anything like it before. As the haunting continued to escalate, the Bell family began to experience strange and terrifying phenomena that would push them to the brink of madness. Doors would slam shut on their own, objects would move around the house, and disembodied voices would whisper eerie messages in their ears. The spirit, which seemed to be feeding off their fear and anxiety, was becoming increasingly powerful, and it was clear that something had to be done to stop it. In a desperate bid to bring an end to the haunting, the Bell family turned to a local minister named James Robertson, who was known for his expertise in the supernatural. Robertson, who was convinced that the spirit was a malevolent entity that needed to be exorcised, began to perform a series of rituals and prayers designed to cleanse the house of its evil presence. However, the spirit was not about to give up without a fight, and it responded to Robertson's efforts with a ferocity that would leave the minister shaken. The final confrontation between the Bell family and the Bell Witch took place on a cold winter's night in 1821. The family, who had been living in a state of siege for months, had reached their breaking point, and they knew that they had to do something to reclaim their home and their lives. With Robertson's guidance, they performed a final, desperate ritual to banish the spirit back to the depths of hell. As they prayed and sang hymns, the spirit unleashed a fury of sounds and movements that seemed to shake the very foundations of the house. It was as if the entity was determined to take the family with it, to drag them down into the abyss of madness and despair. But the Bell family, who had been through so much, refused to give up. With a courage and a determination that would be tested to the limit, they stood their ground, praying and singing until the spirit finally began to dissipate. The aftermath of the haunting was a period of intense reflection and healing for the Bell family. They had been through an experience that would leave them scarred for life, but they had also emerged stronger and more united than ever before. The haunting had taught them the value of family, the importance of faith, and the resilience of the human spirit. As they looked back on the events of the past few years, they knew that they had been through something extraordinary, something that would stay with them for the rest of their lives. The legacy of the Bell Witch haunting is a complex and multifaceted one. For many, it remains one of the most well-documented and intriguing cases of paranormal activity in American history. The fact that it was witnessed by so many people, including prominent figures like Andrew Jackson, adds to its credibility and makes it a fascinating topic of study. For others, the haunting is a reminder of the power of the human spirit, a testament to the ability of people to overcome even the most daunting challenges. Today, the Bell Witch Cave, which is located on the site of the old Bell Farm, is a popular tourist destination, attracting thousands of visitors each year. The cave, which is said to be the epicenter of the haunting, is a place of dark beauty, a labyrinthine network of tunnels and passageways that seems to whisper secrets to those who dare to enter. As visitors make their way through the cave, they can't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder at the events that took place there so many years ago. The story of the Bell Witch has also inspired countless books, movies, and other works of fiction, ensuring that its legacy will live on for generations to come. From the early accounts of the haunting, which were written by people who witnessed it firsthand, to the modern-day retellings, which often take creative liberties with the story, the Bell Witch has become a cultural icon, a symbol of the paranormal and the unknown. As we come to the end of our journey into the world of the Bell Witch, we are left with more questions than answers. What was the true nature of the entity that haunted the Bell family? Was it a malevolent spirit, a ghost, or something even more sinister? And what can we learn from this experience, an experience that has been etched into the annals of American history? The answers, much like the spirit itself, remain elusive, hidden in the shadows of time. But one thing is certain, the Bell Witch haunting is a testament to the power of the human spirit, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming adversity, we have the strength to persevere, to overcome, and to emerge stronger and more resilient than ever before. As we close this chapter on the Bell Witch, we invite you to join us on our next journey into the unknown, to explore the mysteries and wonders that lie just beyond the edge of our everyday reality. From the paranormal to the supernatural, we will delve into the most fascinating and often terrifying stories that have shaped our world and our understanding of it. If you've enjoyed this documentary, please subscribe to our channel, where you'll find a treasure trove of documentaries, each one exploring a different aspect of the unknown. From ghosts and hauntings to UFOs and alien encounters, we'll take you on a journey that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about the world. So, join us next time as we venture into the unknown, and discover the secrets that lie just beyond the edge of reality. And remember, the truth is out there, waiting to be uncovered. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.